Episode 11 of the master plan. I've got an update on how my germination is going in the front yard, and we've had pretty good weather in late August, early September, so I decided I want more, and I'm going after more renovation before winter comes around. So let's go. All right, germination update, day 15. You can see a decent amount of green here in the lawn. We'll zoom in, and the sand is working good to provide that seed to soil contact and keep things moist. Of course, I'm watering with my in-ground irrigation probably twice a day unless it rains, and things are coming up pretty good. But true to its reputation, this bluegrass is taking a while to fill in here. I know if I had some perennial ryegrass in the mix, I could potentially be mowing this already, but I'm waiting patiently here, and hopefully things are worth the wait. If you notice here, in areas like this that the sand eroded off during our large rain were some of the first areas to germinate and pop up, which makes sense. As the sand gets deeper, the new seedling is having a little bit longer, harder time popping through, but it is coming through there, as you can see. And that's one of the reasons I thought I could get away with a sand top dress with the seed underneath, because it won't get compacted like a clay or topsoil, and that seedling should be able to work its way through there. It is early September, and the window for planting new grass is quickly closing, but I want more. We can see I'm on the side of the house. The sand trap up front is what I've already renovated in the last episode, and you can see we're getting some decent bluegrass germination and growth. I've seen enough to know that this method of throwing the seed, of spraying glyphosate to kill the existing grass, seeding on top of that, and then sand capping on top of that works, and it works quite well with the use of my in-ground irrigation to keep things wet. So I've continued that. I'm extending this over this way. It's only been a day and a half since I sprayed. You can see I'm getting good die off. That glyphosate is not super fast acting. Within a week, this will be completely brown. But what I did learn from the front is if I use my drag on that about a week or so after spraying with glyphosate, the grass starts to break down enough where that drag starts picking at it and pulling that sod up, and then it makes it a nightmare. There's clumps everywhere. So I'm gonna throw seed down tonight, in the next couple days, get sand on that. And I also did kind of another area alongside the road. In the front there, you can clearly see the line there where it's dying off. So gonna get these areas seeded right on top of that killed off grass and sand cap it. Now, full disclosure, this process has blown my neighbors' minds, and I've had several of them ask, you gotta tell me what the story is. So I've got another video in the works of understanding seed germination, and once you understand that process, the sky's the limit as far as what you can use to plant your grass. Now, there's lots of people who say this is the best way to do it, this and that. There are great methods, a way to do it, but once you understand the principles of seed germination, you can use this thing up here and come up with your own method. You don't have to rely on somebody else telling you what to do. And not that their methods are bad, but you can understand what the good points about it, and adapt it for your situation and use the best possible method for you. And you get to decide. So anyway, enough ranting. I'm going to throw this seed down. Got this grass seed from a local supplier. They were the best mix of Kentucky bluegrass I could find around. The big box stores have the Scots. Some of that's decent, but this seemed to have a good mix of Kentucky bluegrasses bred for success. Different universities release these throughout time, so hopefully it's a winner. All right, got that seed spread out here, piece of cake. All right, I've discovered that using the wheelbarrow for this is for the birds. So I've got the truck and the trailer in the yard here, but I've got myself in a predicament with a boulder in front and a tree right next to the truck, so I'm gonna have to figure out how to jockey my way out of that position, but I almost have enough on there. I just need a little bit more up in this corner, some over along the side there, so I want to get a little bit closer so I'm not throwing it so far. We'll see if I can get out of this little jam I got myself in Austin Powers style. Let's see. I'm not gonna lie, that did not go as smooth as it could have. I've got some, oh boy. What the hell? Guess the wheelbarrow's not looking so bad right now. All right, I've got my sand distributed out of the trailer here. I'm not going as heavy as I did in the front yard because I don't want it to all wash away. But I'm trying to put on enough to where when I drag it or rake it, I get sand everywhere to help provide soil contact to the seed, a little bit of covering that. And then of course do some leveling. So I think that's good. Gonna move over to my other spot. I gotta seed it yet and then throw some down. So let's get to it. I've got my sand spread out here. I just raked it with a manual rake to get it the piles knocked down a little bit. Now I'm just gonna pull my drag by hand. It's kind of a tight area, so I can't really pull it with the lawn tractor and get in these areas. So I'm just gonna pull it around by hand a little bit and get this thing relatively leveled. What I've learned from the front yard is I can't do it all in one shot. I like putting the sand on top of the seed to give some sand to soil contact and also hold some moisture on top of that seed from watering, and also get me some leveling properties. But I realize that I can't do it all in one shot. I'm gonna have to continue to top dress to do the sand cap to get a good level, because if I go too thick, it just erodes away. But I've got the existing grass here that I killed off. That seems to hold a thin layer of sand pretty darn well, and prevent from erosion and keep things settled down. So let's see. All right, that drag worked out pretty well here, just doing it by hand. Pretty painless, fairly small area, so that worked out well. I still have some low spots when I'm going over it, I notice. But like I said, I think I have to take a more incremental approach to this. When I originally put in the lawn, I used more of a flexible mat, a harrow, which does a very good job of making things smooth, but not necessarily flat. So it goes in the bumps and smooths everything off nice and gives good contour, but doesn't necessarily make things flat, if that makes sense. So to get more towards flat and smooth, I'm using this rigid drag. I did a video earlier on, you can search for drag, how to make a drag at home and level your lawn. I welded the thing together out of angle iron, and I'm very happy with it so far. So I just need to go over and do my other area, then put my starter fertilizer on, then just set up watering for this stuff and watch it come up. Well, in case you guys thought it was all rock and roll lifestyle here, throwing down Kentucky bluegrass seed, here's some proof. I've got plenty of humdrum. I got to fix where I ran over my flower bed here. So I did a little bit already, but it's pretty tacoed up here, so I gotta use the shovel on that. And then as another pleasant surprise, I didn't even notice I boned this all up down here too. So anyway, oh joy. The biggest thing that stinks about this is I have to be mad at myself. Not good at that. That was less painful than I thought it'd be. Doesn't look too bad. Messed up the grass a bit, but I guess my ultimate goal is to come through here and replace this with complete brood grass anyway, so I got to deal with that another time. You can also see with the big rainfall, this trench, all of the dirt I had packed in there, because it's on a pretty good downslope, just washed out down here. Anywho, all I can do is move forward. Now repair this piece of junk. All right, got that done. It's not perfect. It's tipping a little bit, but honestly, the only one who ever comes back here is me. It will probably bug me the most. But anyway, got to move forward. I got to cut the grass. You can see it's getting kind of long. And I'm going to spread my starter fertilizer on my new seeding here. So I got that sand spread out earlier today. Now I'm just going to finish it off with the starter fertilizer, which I picked up when I get the seed. Normally I use Morganite for that, just a natural product. But I'm on a pretty tight timeline and it was right next to the seed. So I'm like, what the heck? Let's grab it. Let's do it.